Mamacita, that's a good looking hand right there for turn 1. Roaring Moon EX is one of my favorite Pokemon trading card game decks to play, and it gets even better when all these 3 prize Mega Evolution Pokemon come out next week. In today's gameplay commentary video, I'll be showing you guys 6 games in total, showing you how I like to play this deck and have a lot of fun winning and maybe losing. And I know a lot of you guys are itching for some Miraidon content on the channel, so I want to let you guys know right now, tomorrow's video will be my Miraidon gameplay commentary video, where I think we win like 6 or 7 games in a row. 100% win rate, you could say, at around that 1600 Arceus rank elo. Now, I did do a full, in-depth, detailed deck profile video for Roaring Moon EX the other day, so it'll be linked down below. But for now, grab a drink, grab a snack, and we're going to show you guys the 60 real quick again, right before we jump into a bunch of these games. So here is the 60 card list we're going to be playing for today's gameplay video. Of course, we got Roaring Moon EX, the toxic version. If you guys want to see more gameplays like this, or even my live streams, which I want to bring back, then make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff to let the YouTube algorithm know that you want to see more of your boy. I love playing the Pokemon TCG, I love yapping, and also I love my sponsors. You guys can shop at comfyhobbies.com with code SneakerTalk for 5% off. And of course, you can also shop the best TCG sleeves in the game. We got Endgame, and we actually have, I think, the most stacked team in the world of like professional players and stuff. So shout out to Endgame, use code SneakerTalk to get 10% off the best sleeves. Let's jump into some games. Start things off with the Earthen Vessel. Thin out some dark energies out of our deck, of course. And next up, we can just go Perilous Jungle, Pokegear, try and hit that Carmine. No, we do not want to discard Asada's Vitality, especially because there's no reason to. We're not going for a Donk in this game. So we're going to leave the Sada in the deck, and we will motivate away, or not motivate, Squawk and seize the day. Very nice hand right here. We got our Nest Ball. That's going to bring out our Mew, so we can get some draw power going. Drop in our Fez. We'll throw in our Nest Ball here and begin getting the Roaring Moon out. Very important, because we're going to want to use Calamity Storm on these big basics and potentially Frenzy Gouging if the Bouffalants are doing too good of a job protecting the Terapagos. So now we can just attach for turn. And actually, did we discard Boss? Oh, we discarded Boss in our opening hand, so that's extra nice for us. We can Pal Pad, and we'll keep the Energy Switch in hand instead of just burning it for some more draw. And nice, we got a Capsule as well. These kind of decks do typically kind of play Iono, so let's just put the Capsule on our Moon in the time being. No harm there. And pretty good turn right there. So let's see what we can get on this next turn. Artisan's coming in. And Artisan is going to probably grab them a Fan Rotom or a Bouffalant. Oh, there it is, the Bouffalant. So we have Bouffalant Wall Defense here. Bouffalant Tower Defense. If you guys have ever played those tower defense games like Bloons, I love those. Oh my gosh. I remember playing them online. I think it was like Newgrounds or some other like websites, maybe Miniclip, I don't know. Then you could also just play the Bloons games on your like iPod Touch. Oh my god. I remember the iPod Touch 4th generation and all those good things. Alright, we got Crispin coming in. And while he's getting those energies for the Crispin, let me just throw back some fun games from the iPod Touch days. You guys remember Doodle Jump? Doodle Jump was an era. Oh my gosh. Doodle Jump. Fruit Ninja was killing it too. I don't think Angry Birds was like right away at the start. I think Angry Birds came along later into the lifespan. Farmville was also huge at that time as well. All right, anyways, we got the Crispin, so that's really good. They get the attachment for turn on the Bouffalant and then the Dark Energy on the Monkey Dory. All right, so here, let's go Artisan. And we have a really nice hand here, and that's because we can just Ultra Ball this hand away, grab another Pokemon, such as our Retreat Pivot, Petron EX, so we can always swing with whatever we want. And we can begin the Mew EX festivities. Nice. All right, we got a Night Stretcher, so we can get the energy here and then attach to Squawkabilly. And we can also just boss while we're at it. Yeah?
And just started dying on the floor in my interview.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Rosie.
Go. She wouldn't not leave. Like she was. I tried pulling her away. We'll go motivate our boy, and boom, boom. Yeah, my sister just came in. She was doing a job interview, like on Zoom, and our dog Rosie just came home from her walk, so she's like breathing her heart out. She's like, like, I'm not gonna reenact our dog breathing heavy, but she's breathing heavy. And I'm trying to pull her away from my sister's door because my sister Rosie wants to see my other sister, Nicole, my human sister. Rosie was so adamant about getting in, she just barged in, and she was in the middle of her job interview on Zoom. And so she just said the entire interview for a bunch of the interview, basically. Oh, my dad says that's a good thing because it makes the interview even more memorable. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we got the Monkey Dory damage coming back at us as expected. Now, one nice thing we have going for us here is we do have a way to actually knock them out with Calamity Storm if we do the Brute Bonnet Poison Toxic Powder shenanigans. So that means we hit them for the 220, discard the Artisan, and then in Poison, we do 10 damage. In Poison, we trust. In Poison, we do 10 damage on Pokemon Checkup, so we can knock them out and also still deny Fezandipity as well, which is really good. Also, one nice thing to note in this particular matchup is the Bouffalon defense only mitigates the damage from like actual attacks, the damage from attacks, but it doesn't, you know, lower the amount of damage our poison is going to do. So even if we might be lacking potentially in our damage output, our poison output will remain intact, which is super, super critical in ensuring that we still have pressure all throughout this match. All right, here comes the Crispin. And all we're going to need to do on our next turn is just, well, they're going to probably attack our Squawk and hit it for knockout. We're just going to have to go with the Roaring Moon Calamity Storm. Actually, no, they have the Bouffalons, so we might have to go for a Frenzy Gouging here. Unless... Nah, I don't think there's anything else we can really do. So we're going to have to go for the Frenzy Gouging here. And then they're going to have to hopefully... They're going to have to hope for basically a Crispin. Wait, they didn't knock us out? They're 20 damage short? Oh, that's blessed. Okay, so let's start off with the Capsule here. We'll go Petulant, our Roaring Moon EX into the active, and we'll go Mew, and we'll do some pretty big damage here. Ooh, nice. All right, so we got those for the next turn. Let's go ahead and poison our Terapagos, or their Terapagos EX, and we will go with a Frenzy Gouging here because that's our only way for us to take an actual knockout. So that's one really nice thing this deck does have going for it too, when you have to deal with those sort of effects that will... sorry, if you're gonna have to deal with Pokemon that have abilities that reduce damage, it doesn't mean the effects aren't gonna be prevented. So the effects of just Frenzy Gouging is super good, of course, unless they have a Miss Energy, which a lot of decks don't play Miss Energy. And this deck could potentially play Miss Energy because it is a colorless deck, and honestly, if you already have one sort of area of defense covered, you could potentially scale your power level with some Miss Energy for the effects that come in, like Frenzy Gouging. But most players don't even think about Roaring Moon EX anymore. Roaring Moon EX really is sort of like a whatchamacallit, sort of an afterthought of a deck, a rogue deck. And you probably just want to go for maximum consistency with this deck with Crispins. Nest Ball, grabbing another Bouffalon. So this Bouffalon right here is pretty crazy. So 220 on basic, and you take 30 less damage from attacks. So effectively 250 HP. And then you have this Bouffalon here, where if you have another smaller Bouffalon on the board, you take 60 less for your colorless basic colorless Pokemon. So they're taking a 90 damage reduction. They're getting yeah, this is my first game of the day. My coffee's just hitting. But yeah, this is a really cool defensive deck. All right, so I'll go Earthen Vessel here. Let's discard our Roaring Moon EX. I don't think we're going to need it anytime soon. And we are unfortunately out of Dark Energies. So we have 4 energies on board, 2 in the discard. So that means we have 1 more energy left in our prizes. In this scenario, I think we are safe to honestly just go... I think we just go for the Frenzy Gouging here as well. Yeah, we go for the Frenzy Gouging here. And that's going to allow us to take the knockout. It also means we're not leaving damage on the board for them to throw back at us with Monkey Dory. So that's another thing we're able to play around in this particular matchup, because this sort of defensive deck thrives on, you know, us doing next to no damage, and then the very little amount of damage that we're actually doing is being thrown back at us as well. So it's a really cool concept of a deck, and I actually thought about building it myself. But for a big wall deck coming soon, I know a lot of people are going to be quite excited for Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur EX looks like a powerhouse of a deck, and I love grass Pokemon. And my actual first ever game I ever played for the Pokemon TCG series that I owned was, well, actually it was Pokemon Gold, but my first personal owned copy was Pokemon Leaf Green. All right, I'm just like brainstorming what do I want to put up here. Let's throw in our Squawk. I'm fine with giving them the 2 prizes because we have essentially, we could have game next turn here. Yeah, we could have game next turn here with the help of Pecharunt. We would go like attached to the Pecharunt, and then Fez. What am I saying, dog? This is okay. We're gonna attack with Blood Moon. We would attack with Blood Moon and then get our Poison Stadium on the board. So we're gonna be swinging for 270. Is that enough? I don't think it might not be enough, but honestly with Blood Moon being so strong, it might be enough. If we're able to get a Roaring Moon EX out in Frenzy Gouge for game, then we're chilling. But they need to present to us a 2-prizer in the active spot. And they don't really have a reason to do that. And now we're just getting hit with that Iono. So that is a little painful. Ooh, that is a painful one. Okay, that's not bad. That's not the end of the world. Roaring Moon. Oh my gosh, and they got Bravery Charms on the Buffalon EXs too. Okay, I see you, Senior Nando. Alright, so Big Buffalon coming in here. What can we do here that would like just steal the game for us? Oh, they whiffed the attack. Okay, that's actually enormous for us. Okay, the issue here is we don't have a good attacker here. We could do poison shenanigans, but the poison damage is just going to come right back at us as well. So that's something to consider. We could just start attacking with this Baby Moon if we get another energy off of our deck. So we're going to shuffle our deck first with Artisan because we did have our Dark Energy off the prizes shuffled to the bottom. So yeah, we're going to have to do that. Just shuffle our deck with the Artisan. We'll drop in the Moon and just really hope that this hits. The Sada gives us something good. Okay, good. We got the Dark Energy we needed. Now we can go attach there. We'll go... Do they have knockout on us? They'll swing for 100, and then they can also hit us for 30 with 1 monkey. If they get another Dark on the board, we're kind of cooked. I really don't know how much damage this Roaring Moon EX is going to do, but honestly, it's our best attacker in the scenario. So let's go ahead and... I can't use Pecharunt to bring in our Roaring Moon to the active because we go down to 130 HP in between checkup because of poison, so that would give them the knockout. So we're gonna have to do we're gonna have to go Toxic Powder first, and then we can retreat our Squawk manually, and then attack with our Roaring Moon. Because if we had a Roaring Moon go in with Pecharunt, that 10 damage is just setting us up for failure. So wow, they really are they're really tanking it here. So we're only doing 40 damage plus the 10, and they get to throw back 30. So more than half of the damage will be coming back to us. We're gonna leave them with 30 damage, hopefully, in between turns after Pokemon checkup. So let's see what they do here. All right, we got the Adrenabrain, so they can take 2 prizes off Squawkabilly right here. And then please tell me that you don't have a way to gust up one of my 2 prizes, because then I think we're cooked. If they can gust up one of our Mew EX or Pecharunt, we're cooked. Okay, cool. Iono, that's not horrible for us. All right, we have a hand that could potentially pop off for us here. So 1 card in hand for them. They're only swinging for 100. Here comes the Gold Breaker, so there's the 100 coming in. They take 10, so we're at 240 health left. We have Fez available, Secret Box, all this good stuff. Ooh, I like the Ancient Capsule. All right, let's start off with our Fez. Let's see what Fez can give us. Okay, we're cooking. Here we have Roaring Moon EX, so that's really good. We have Secret Box, Is there a world where we do an E-switch? We need dark energy, and we don't... We need to hit double E... Oh, we have... No, 2 E-switches are used already. We're going to need the jungle, maybe? Okay, let's just bump the stadium, too. Okay, we're going to go secret box. Oh, we could actually gust up that Terapagos and hit it. That might be the play. Yeah, I think gusting up the Terapagos might be the play here. Sada, E-switch, jungle, and tool. We needed to get like Super Rod off this beforehand if it was like possible. We'll go drop the jungle in, so that's going to be good for some additional poison tick damage. We'll do the E-switch to our boy Roaring Moon EX. Put the... We'll do... Ooh. No, I think the safest... I think it's super safe to go slow. And we'll go with this Terapagos into the active. And then we can go Toxic Powder. And then we're going to actually put the capsule on this moon so it can live through a little bit more. And I'm pretty content with that. So that means we're going to do 80 damage on the attack, 30 in between turns with poison. And then on this next turn, we just need to attack with moon for game. Basically, that's our win condition, or Petrion. The problem is all of our energies are exposed now. So we have no energies in deck. We have 1 E-switch, a Super Rod, and we have Solder for attachment. Let's see what they do here. The Terapagos gets 1 lightning energy here. They played area 0, but they have no presence, like no onboard draw, nothing. So this is where their deck is kind of falling flat at right now. Quite happy with this. All right, and there's the end of turn. All right, next up, let's see what we get. Carmine. All right, so we're gonna go Sada here just to get that guaranteed attachments, and all we need is an E-switch for game here. No, we couldn't get it. Okay, let's go thin out our deck a bit more. We'll drop the Nest Ball, we'll drop the Carmine, and we'll just thin out a Monkey Dory while we're at it. And then in this scenario, we'll poison them again for funsies and swing in with Vengeance Fledging. So our capsules are actually really clutch in this matchup as well, just because it puts us out of easy KO range with the Monkey Dories. But this could be the final turn they have, and we just might steal the game with our Baby Roaring Moon. Now, Baby Roaring Moon is one of the cards in this deck that some people aren't too... they don't believe in it too much, and so you might... The other small 1-prize baby Pokemon other people are considering for this deck would have to be the Koraidon single prizer, which does additional big bonus damage. I think it's 120 extra damage if you attack with an ancient Pokemon on the previous turn. Now the thing is, our early to mid game attacker in this deck is normally Petrirunt, so we're not attacking necessarily with a Baby Moon or a Big Moon to start things off that we could then chain with Koraidon. Now you could argue that the Koraidon is really good because you have an easy sort of free KO against those big 2-prizers like Blood Moon or Soluna and Pheasantipity. And of course, Miraidon's not really a popular deck anymore, but you'd also have for weakness on Miraidon. And oh, there we go. There's the knockout on our moon. Now it says here, let's promote our Mew EX. They gave us the thumbs up. They have 60 health left. I think they used Crown Opal, so that means during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic non-thing Pokemon. So let's start off with a Pheasantipity. And I'm trying to think here. I think we just win if we bring in our Petrirunt and then pass. And then our Petrirunt would tick him for 60 in between turns for the knockout. So let's just do that. Yeah, let's bring in our Petrirunt, throw it in there. Let's go Sada for fun. Why not? And then we also got the jungle for the extra insult to injury. And then I'll just poison our guy for fun. And I think that's game. And then we just win in between turns with Pokemon checkup damage. So there's the 80, and that is game. So they thought they had it, but they did not have it. Good game, sir. So that was a fun first game against the Bouffalante wall deck. Let's hop right now into let's hop back right into some gameplay and see what we can hit on the ladder Arceus rank, baby. And of course, I'll leave timestamps and all that good stuff as well. So if you're like me and you might have some sort of ADHD tendencies, I highly suggest watching maybe one game at a time, and then YouTube will probably recommend you the other games in the future, like as this video pops up on your home feed. All right, so we won the coin toss. Let's go first and see if we can pull off a turn 1 donk. And later today, I'm actually going to record my commentary of me playing like Roaring Moon at a tournament at Comfy Hobbies. All right, here we go. Let's bring out our Petulant EX, and ooh, looks like we hit a Team Rocket's Arbok deck. All right, spicy. We can't pull the we cannot pull off the donk on this deck because they are dark type Pokemon. So let's go ahead and discard. Ooh, it's a bit tricky having to discard all these. Good. We have Palpad as well. Secret Box. We have Secret. All right. Oh my gosh, we're already like being faced with some pretty tough decisions. We have the Secret Box. Okay, I guess we'll discard. I want to play the Palpad, so let's just grab. Let's grab Blood Moon. Blood Moon's not going to be super high value in this matchup because I do want to Palpad. I do want to Palpad these Sadas back. They're going to be pretty useful. We go Secret Box here, discard Carmine, all the good stuff. Then we got Carmine, we got Nest Ball for draw, we got Jungle, and Capsule. Capsule feels fine here. I would love to get Squawk, but we can't. But we're going to go Carmine anyway, so this will just allow us to at least put the Brute Bonnet on with the Capsule. The Jungle is useless here, but I'd rather just play it just in case and burn it, rather than burn it. And then we got a Nest Ball, which is good, so we can grab our Squawkabilly. Squawkabilly means we can discard the energy switch, grab 2 darks, and just get the ball rolling. Rolling. Then we can go Pokegear. The problem here is it's gonna just get discarded with Squawk, and then we'll also go. We'll go Squawk here. And now, oh, we have some Pokemon. Now we got some Pokemon. That's what I'm talking about. And let's go bring in our Brute Bonnet so we just don't hurt ourselves with some additional poison damage. At the moment, it's sort of unnecessary, and we'll just do the Toxic Powder shenanigans. And that is our turn. So kind of an awkward start. You know, usually you get super excited when you see just one small little like HP Pokemon in the active, but whenever it's dark, just keep in mind that the most you can do with poison is going to be 60 because Perilous Jungle is only for non-dark Pokemon. So the only times it ever really comes up is if we're faced with a Charizard EX, because of course that's dark, and then we have Grimmsnarl, which also is dark. All the Grimmsnarl like line, the evolution line. All right, nice. We got Dark Energy, so we'll just go simple attach, and then let's just let's pass it on over again. So unfortunately, we have no draw supporters to play, and we don't have a Mew for onboard draw either. There's the Golbat. So this is a cool deck, so they're gonna throw damage counters at us now with the help of these the Golbat line. Hitting our Moon makes a lot of sense, so we can't use Frenzy Gouging on Team Rocket's Crobat EX. I believe Crobat EX is 310 HP, so using Frenzy Gouging would probably be the best way to deal with that hefty dude. And there we go. Now we got an Iono. Okay, so let's do Iono here. Don't need to do anything else. Nice. Okay, so we got our Mew EX, and we got some Nest Ball action. So now we can go Petulant into the active here, and now we can start taking knockouts because our poison damage will actually be very impactful. So we'll pass, and now we're taking knockouts in between turns. Now the thing is, most of these sort of Team Rocket decks don't play Fez, simply because a lot of them like to use what is it? There's like that Rocket supporter Ariana Grande, where you get to draw up to 8 if all your Pokemon are Team Rocket's Pokemon, but I haven't seen any supporters been played yet, I believe. All right, so Tails, they're gonna hurt themselves with, ooh, that's gonna suck. That now means we actually have knockout on Team Rocket's Ekans, with some poison shenanigans as well. But I would much rather take down this Golbat. So if there's a world where we can swing into this Golbat, which I think we can just easily do, we're chilling. All right, so Team Rocket's Proton, they're gonna get to set up 3 more Pokemon. They get to grab 3 basic Rockets Pokemon, add them to their hand. So really good if you also want to do some hand thinning. It's nice that it doesn't force you to bench it right away. So you could have some potential targets for Ultra Ball as well. So here's the Crobat, or sorry, oh my gosh, the whole family. Zubat, Sneasel's really cool, and Rocket's Great Ball. It is a Tails, which means it's going to be a basic Pokemon, I believe. Yeah. So if you've ever played Lugia or are familiar with the card Capturing Aroma, it's basically heads for evolution Pokemon from your deck, tails for basic. It's rotated out now. It's a yellow border card from, I believe, Silver Tempest, but Rocket's Great Ball is the new version of that. All right, so we have a great turn coming up. We can just go Boss in the Golbat, and then we're going to go bring in our big boy Moon EX. And although we're not taking a 2-prize knockout with the Frenzy Gouging or anything like that, it is very beneficial to just knock out this Golbat before it becomes a problem with the Crobat. And we also get to keep the stadium in play. Not that it matters, but that's another thing actually. Now that I think about it, having the Perilous Jungle on board is very helpful, so we can do Calamity Storm if they do bring out a bigger Pokemon, like a 2-prize Pokemon, something like that. But the thing is, this deck really doesn't play, I believe, any big basics. It's like small little dudes, and then boom, Crobat EX, 310 unit of a Pokemon. Also, I'm a big fan. I like vampires. I think vampires are pretty cool. I remember when I was going to college, we had to read, I believe, Nosferatu, which is like Dracula, for I think one of my English lit classes or something like that. And I'm a big fan of like the lore and vampires and all that kind of stuff. I think it's pretty cool. And vampire, I forget what they're called. Woman vampires are they're pretty much always baddies. That's just like a thing. So shout out to the woman vampires out there. All right, Team Rocket's Golbat, herd in our Petron EX, and a simple pass of the turn. Oh, I feel bad for them. They got the Golbat, but it doesn't mean much when I get to boss, baby. Let's go. All right, we'll attach to the Petron EX, or Petront, I mean, and we will swing with Calamity Storm and never let them evolve into Crobat EX. This is just toxic. We're not even using like the toxic package the way it was intended to, but we are actually being quite toxic in the way of just not letting them evolve into their main attacker. So they have a 1-card hand here. This is bad. Like, this is looking really, really bad for Tristry, and it looks so bad that they're gonna have to scoop it up. We won the coin toss, and we want to go first. This is just a deck that straight up always wants to go first. I really can't think of a super good reason to want to go second for this deck. All right, great start, phenomenal start. Oh my gosh, we got 1 Petrunt, 1 Brute Bonnet, and we even have a second Petrunt. So we have a lot going for us. On top of that, we got Ultra Ball. Oh my god, our start looks insane. We can Earthen Vessel the Carmine away, use Ultra Ball to grab something like a Squawk. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, we can still grab Squawk because we're not afraid of Saw Blocks. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Let's go. All right, let's set everything up. We'll go Earthen Vessel the Carmine away. Grab 2 Darks. One nice thing about this deck too is you don't really need to do prize checking too thoroughly. Like, we know which cards are one of, so if you really want to hunt them down for a particular matchup, you can do that. Let's grab the Squawk. Now that we got our Squawk available, we have access to see 5 cards from Carmine, 6 cards from Squawk. All we need is a capsule, which we have 4 of. So we have 4 capsules potentially in deck, 43 card deck. Let's hit the Carmine, and looking pretty good so far. We got an energy. Nest Ball means we can thin out another Pokemon as well. let's go ahead and grab our Roaring Moon EX. Roaring Moon EX is going to be a really strong attacker in this matchup because I expect them to have a lot of big 2-prize basics. We'll attach the energy to the Roaring Moon and say goodbye to our hand. So, Iono, goodbye. We're going to miss you. But unfortunately, we whiffed everything we wanted. So we passed. And everything we wanted was the capsule. All that we wanted was the capsule. They're happy. They gave us the thumbs up, smile, little smile action. All right, Buddy Poffin. Are we going to see? Ooh, spicy. All right, so this is a deck that I've been playing myself. Oh, I like this. So winning the coin toss is pretty strong against a Baxcalibur style deck, but we're playing against potentially like a Shen Pao Baxcalibur deck. Okay. All right, so we got the Arvin coming in. We'll probably see maybe a Nest Ball plus something. Maybe they're going to want to attack with the Ogre Pawn. I could see a Team Evo. I could see a Team Evo play happen here. Maybe Vessel Team Evo. Yeah, ooh, okay, so Nest Ball and Team Evo. So they probably have energy in hand already. Nest Ball for Latias EX. What else are they grabbing? Another Nest Ball. Yo, they have a cracked out start. All right, so here's really big for them. They can just retrieve for free, get the energies from the Shen Pao's ability. Team Rocket's Watchtower. Not a card that I'm concerned about. We've already used our one colorless Pokemon's ability. So we're going to want to get rid of this so our Blood Moon can attack in the late game. But we still have, like, Calamity Storm. Calamity Storm is so good. It's like you either have your own stadium in play or you get to eliminate your opponent's stadium. So we're going to hit the Evo TM on one Arctibax. So if we were able to gun this Arctibax down, we're super happy about that, but not looking like it's going to happen. All right, so let's start off with the Pokegear. We're going to want to thin out a supporter from our hand if we can, just so our Sada can draw us other cards that aren't a supporter. So we'll Pokegear, and we filled it. And then we have Palpad and Carmine. So we have Iono and Carmine in our discard. Let's go Sada here. We got 1 and 2. And unfortunately, nothing crazy there either. Let's go. I want to put the Pecharunt, this guy on the bench, but I think it's a bad idea. Let's just go attached. And then we'll put this energy on. I'm concerned if they just gun this Roaring Moon down, it's pretty cooked for us. Let's just put this on anyways, and then pass there. So another lackluster turn, I'd say. Sort of a setup turn, but our setup, you really want to get that turn 1 setup. So now you guys are going to see what kind of happens when this deck kind of fumbles in that opening start, and you'll see if it can still, you know, hang with the Shen Pao EX in this scenario. Oh, so they are a go second deck. They grab 2 Team Evos off of the Arvins in total. So we both kind of won our coin tosses respectively. All right, here comes the Ultra Ball. And they're probably going to grab their Baxcalibur so that their Shen Pao can start swinging. Now, the one thing that we have going for us here is they can't use Boss's Orders to gust our Roaring Moon EX to take a 2-prize knockout to start off the race. All right, we got Wellspring coming in. What they can do here is take a 2-prize knockout with this Ogre Pawn, so they can take down both of our Petrarunts, which is toxic. Okay, so our next course of action is I would ideally like to go Frenzy Gouging on their Shen Pao, just so we can eliminate the threat of a a one-hit KO against our Roaring Moon. So if we can top deck Boss's Orders, we're super happy. Oh, they're taking down our little Brute Bonnet as well. But yeah, we want to take down the Shen Pao. The Baxcalibur's a threat too, but they already have an Arctibax, a second one on the board, so we have to maintain the trade of going 2-2-2 with them. So we're just gonna go add this to our Roaring Moon so it's even healthier. We'll go drop in the Pecharunt. Unfortunately, our Sada's not gonna get max value unless we hit an E-switch off of this, because we already have a fully readied up Roaring Moon. here we'll go Ultra Ball, discarding Peturunt and the Ultra Ball. That can give us Pheasantipity. Now we get some additional bonus draw here. Let's see what Flip the Script can bring us. Not bad. Alright, so our Roaring Moon baby can actually attack the Latias EX for knockout. So we're going to actually prep this Roaring Moon with this. And we'll also attach an energy to this Peturunt EX on the bench. And that's just because it's going to be really, really easy for us to either use Sada or E-Switch or just the other attach on our upcoming turn. So this allows us to have three lines essentially, but 2 lines of attackers on the bench available. So we can basically attack with Peturunt for 180 or 240, depending on the prize cards on their side that are left, which would be enough to knock out like a big Shenpao. But we ideally want to attack with this Roaring Moon EX again on this upcoming turn with the Frenzy Gouging, or sorry, Calamity Storm, or attack the Latias EX on the bench with the baby, the Moon Junior. I'm going to start calling it Moon Junior and Moon Senior, or yeah, Roaring, I don't know. I like the idea of Junior and Senior because there's like a big one and a small one and it's the same Pokemon, you know. Alright, Arven for Earthen Vessel. Looks like they're not going to be grabbing a third TM Evo from that. Alright, so I think they have a lot of energies in hand. They might have enough for the full knockout here, which is a little alarming. I think they're going to have 5, and that would be 300. Alright, so they do have the return KO for 300. They are discarding all the energies. But now we have the attack with Peturunt here, right? So all we need to do is promote our Peturunt here. And you actually always want to promote the Peturunt, especially in the late game, just because you can't use Peturunt's ability on itself to bring it up. So if you're thinking about attacking with it, you're going to have to always put it in the active. All right, so here we can go Palpad. Palpad is going to be big, so we can bring back Iono. And I don't even know if we want to bring back a Sada. Sada's kind of like a mid card at this point in the game. I think we really just want to get our Ionos going. So we're going to only put Iono. And then here we have Earthen Vessel. Let's go Earthen Vessel away, a Jungle. Yeah, so we were out of energies in the deck, so I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to discard this energy, because if we did, we're cooked. So let's attach this energy here. And then we'll drop in Perlos Jungle. And then we can go... If I really wanted to Iono them to 2, we would Ultra Ball both of these cards away, grab the Mew. Mew for 3, Fez for 3. So let's do that, because I really only need to attack this Shenpao and then a Latias with a Boss on the next turn with my dudes. So let's do that. Let's bring out the Mew. I'd like to Iono them to 2 here, if possible, rather than those 3 in the hand. So we got that. Next up, we got Fezzy for 3. Fez, yes. We got the secret box, which means we can drop the Moon, Carmine, and E-Switch. We got Iono, this, and we attach return. We need to get the energies back into our deck, but I also want to make sure we have boss for the next turn. So I don't want to decrease our odds of drawing the boss on the next turn. What else can we do? E-Switch would be... Yeah, I think it's not horrible. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so we'll Super Rod. We'll go 2 Dark and a Moon. And then this means we can go Iono to 2. And then we can go Vessel. Vessel's solid. That means we shuffle our deck, so our boss's orders is no longer on the bottom as well. And then thin out an energy. And then now we get to swing for the 240 here. So we have to really, really hope that they're not going to have game for turn here off of 2 from Iono. They're going to need a decent amount. They're saying thumbs up, so there's a very high chance they might just have Blood Moon attached for game. Let's see what they do here. Fez. So Fez has to go big. So Fez has to go really big. So off of Ayano 2 +1 draw, they're going to get to see 3 more. Here's flip the script. Will they be able to get... Uh-oh, that's not good. Nest Ball could get them Shen Pao. But will they have enough energies in the deck? If they have superior energy retrieval, they have game. Because they can just discard the 2. So Iono was a lie. Unfortunately, we do lose this very close game. But I had fun. It was a good back and forth. And honestly, when you have a good back and forth and against a cool like road deck like Shen Pao, I can't be too upset, you know. So we're gonna take that loss on the chin. GG's, the dirty circuits. They didn't completely destroy us. I wish it would have gone differently, but hey, you can't win them all. All right, let's get to 3 more games of some Roaring Moon action, and then I'm gonna start recording for some other decks right after, which I know you guys are going to want to see. This is going to be my personal Miraidon list. All right, looks like we were a Worlds competitor from last year based off the deck accessories. Looks like they're choosing to go second, which is great for us. Getting to go first is like we won the coin toss ourselves. Oh, this hand is looking pretty strong. Ooh, and a mulligan as well. Looks like we're going to be playing against Gardevoir, given that mulligan opening. And we get +1. Oh, we're not donking. They're starting off with the Fez. All right, so we're going to go Earthen Vessel. We'll start thinning out these darks. We only have 2 more darks in deck. That's kind of insane. All right, we're going to go Nest Ball here. Nest Ball here will grab us. Honestly, I don't even want to play the Ion. Like, our hand is... Everything's looking good, man. Everything's looking pretty good, but we don't want to go Squawk since we're not going to be going for the donk here. So let's go for our boy Roaring Moon EX. And we can just put the capsules on our cards. Attach for turn onto our Roaring Moon and pass. So pretty lackluster start. I would have liked to have gotten more done on that turn 1, but it's not horrible. All right, so we got the Artisan, Energy Attach, and the Iono. So we have 3 energies and our own Iono getting sent to the bottom of the deck. And it's looking like they blessed us with a pretty strong looking hand here. All right, we got the Vessel getting a 2 Psychics. 2 Psychics. Oh yeah, they already tasked for turn anyways. They're gonna grab a Ralts here, and all we need to do is if they don't get another Ralts out, oh, they're gonna get a second Ralts here most likely. If they get Team Evo, they're chilling. They're like very happy if they can Team Evo and get 2 Curlias up. But we have Secret Box, which means we have ways to grab energy, and we have we can just grab Boss as well. All right, so they're going double Ralts here on this opening turn. Will they have a Team Evo here? No. Okay, so we can at least take down 1 Ralts. It would activate Fez, so that is the thing to consider. Let's drop in the Brute Bonnet. Let's get the Artisan going. Ooh, let me think here. We can't. I don't think they're gonna have Rare Candy Guardian on this next turn. I'd rather set up and be safe. We'll go Petulant here. We'll go Secret Box 1, 2, 3. It feels weird discarding 2 jungles. We can't even grab a 4th jungle because we don't play a 4th jungle. Here we can grab our Tool. We can grab our Nest Ball. And we can grab a Boss. And here we can go Jungle. Nest Ball. Do we have a... Oh no. We have both of our Petulant EXs prized. This is what I get for not prize checking. Had I have prize checked, I would have grabbed not the Nest Ball, and I would have grabbed Earthen Vessel, so I could retreat manually and then go with Brute. So plan B. Yikes. Our plan B is get some draw power going here. So we could potentially get lucky, you could say, if we get an energy off of this restart. No luck there. So we're just gonna go ahead and Toxic Powder here. And unfortunately, we cannot take knockout on the Ralts. So that is like, those are the odd games where you prize both of the Petron EX and you get punished. I would typically prize check in real life. The first thing I always do when you're prize checking with this deck is you prize check the Pokemon. Pretty much every Pokemon in this deck is a 2 of, so it's really easy to spot what is missing. So that's just getting a simple classic punished for not prize checking kind of play. Here they're gonna retreat back into the Fez. We've already burnt one boss too, which is funny. But we don't want to take knockout with an attack. We don't want to activate their Fez. That's like the thing we're trying to play around. So all we need to do is get like an energy, and that's not an energy. We're gonna have to go, oh, we're gonna go weird with this one. We're gonna send back, actually, ooh, Fez and a Dark. And we already prized our, whatchamacallit, yeah, we already prized our runt. So let's bring in the Ralts again. And here we are gonna try and draw an energy. Can we draw an energy? Yes, we can. All right, nice. So here we can go attach. We'll go retreat into the Petrunt, Toxic Powder. And so now we can take down one of the Ralts. And at the same time, we're not triggering Fez, which means that typical game plan of flip the script and get everything you want is off the table. So now we just have one more Ralts to chase down, but the problem we have now have to come across or deal with and accept is we are down 2 bosses orders. So we only have 1 copy of boss in deck, or 1 copy of boss available. We don't know if it's in deck because I did not prize check it, but we do have 1 copy of boss. Hopefully we can have access to it at some point. All right, so we go Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball can discard these 2. We're just gonna keep digging here. We don't really need anything. We're just trying to draw with Mew some more additional cards. Okay, and then we'll go Toxic Powder. And in this scenario, grabbing the Dark, and we'll put it on this Petron on the bench is good. We'll go Carmine. And Carmine, we can discard these guys, and we'll thin out a Fez. Simply because if they do take a knockout on this upcoming turn, which there's a chance they might, because all they have to do is Cruel Arrow, we have the Fez in hand available. So they have a 4-card hand here, 1 Ralts on the bench, and a Fez in the active. Don't have too much going on, not too much presence. They really needed that turn 1 team Evo. That's like so much of this deck. I feel like if you don't get that Curlia on your in-between turns from that Evo, getting the Guardy is really hard without having Fez available. Like Fez is usually like that card at the end game that gets you those final pieces. So here they'll probably bring in my Thick Boy, our Thick Roaring Moon, hitting the active, and now they're gonna get to start sniping here. Now, unfortunately for us, I forgot to see what prize card we got off the Ralts. Did we, or earlier? Now, I think we still have both of our Petron EXs prized. Very strange that they're going for the Mew, but I think they've decided that that's the threat because it's our draw engine here. We're gonna go attach to the Moon, Carmine. We go Earthen Vessel. We're just gonna keep on thinning. Thin out all the cards, and we can go. Yeah, it's so weird not being able to. It's so weird not being able to retreat into or bring in our attacker of choice. Now on that turn, I definitely kind of made a slight misplay. I should have used Energy Switch to move this Petrunt's energy to the Roaring Moon, but it's not going to make a difference in this scenario here. And so now we have an open bench spot available too, which is really, really good. Let's see what the draw is. Sada. All right, so Sada means how many energies? We got 4 energies in discard. So we can go Frenzy Gouging on this dude here. And it looks like that is going to be the line. That's one line. The other line is throwing Monkey Dory damage over slowly, but I think we're just gonna go on the aggressive side here. We'll go attach, attach. We'll go attach there. We'll go monkey here, E-switch here. Means you can put this energy. I'll take it off this guy. And then we can go Ultra Ball, discarding these. Oh, we do have the monkey. We do have the boss in deck. We can monkey over some damage. And actually, how much? We do 100, and he's poisoned. I don't want to activate, like... I still don't want to activate Fez. If we knock him out with... We need to move over 10. Okay. If you move over 10 damage, that's enough for us to knock him out without having to discard the stadium here. So this means that they can't Night Stretcher and bring back the Fez and then flip the script from the Fez. So those small little lines like that are only possible with the help of Monkey Dory. There's always going to be those very nuanced, very like interesting situations where Monkey Dory gets so much value. And honestly, just being able to turn off Fezendipity's ability is really good. If you've ever played like Yu-Gi-Oh, it kind of like reminds me of like if we're playing Jinzo and their trap cards are just never allowed to be used, because that's what Jinzo does, I believe. You just can't use your trap cards. So like you just can't use your Fez. Like you can't use one of the best cards in the game. And here they have 0 damage counters on board to send over. They have to attach retreat here. If they don't, we're playing against a Monkey Dory deck. Okay, they're gonna bring in our freaking Brute Bonnet here. Luckily for us, we have some Monkey Dory damage we can do. We can throw back some Monkey Dory damage and hit them with poison too. So we're gonna hit them with 50 here in total. We're gonna do 20 of monkey damage over, and then poison's gonna tick for 3. And we got this on. Oh, okay. So let's do Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory, Monkey Dory. Oh, Monkey Dory. And then here we go, Sada. Attach there, attach there. Nice. E-switch goes crazy. If we had one more E-switch, we're like cooking. But you know, we can't get it all. How many E-switches have we gone through? 3. Okay, so that was our last E-switch anyways. So all we need now is 2, 4, 6. So all our energies are in play. So Sada is now offline for us. We just need to have him not evolve and we're happy. Okay. Yeah, he's not evolving. They're happy. They can bring in the monkey. And now they're in full top deck mode. I love tormenting God of War players. I love it. Okay, I can tell you one thing we're gonna do, and that is not play Iono. We're gonna go boss's orders. Give me that Curlia. You can't run. You can't run from my poison, buddy. You are going to remain poisoned. And unless you top deck an energy or a way to evolve, or your Guardy, we win this game here, I believe. Yeah, there we go. I'll take it. I'll take it. I love beating world's level players with rogue decks. It's always a very satisfying feeling. All right, here we go. Next game. This one's against Elay. I'm itching to stream again. I haven't sat down and filmed like gameplay videos like this in a minute, and just having the setup here is really fun, and it just makes me wish a little bit we had a live chat going as well. So I'm excited to start streaming again. I want to build like an actual stream schedule so you guys can know when to expect me. Brute on it. Starting things off, going first. Pretty nice start from the looks of things. And Iron Thorns could throw a wrench in our plans. We're going to start things off with a Nest Ball. And unfortunately, all of our abilities are going to be off for a while. So we're just going to start things off with the Moon. And I'm going to assume Fez is not going to be useful pretty much all game here. Retreating this Brute Bonnet out of the active is going to be really rough. Let's do I think we're just gonna slowly set up our moon. And if they happen to be a deck that has like other smaller things, like if it's Crustle, then we can boss, and then we're chilling. We're happy if we have a Crustle Thorns build. I haven't seen straight Thorns in a minute. Like straight Thorns is not something you see super often. Ultra Ball, Crispin, and we're not playing Judge. So, all right, there's the fire coming. Oh, fire! What they got fire? Is this Pult? Pult Thorns? Thorns Pult? Okay, we at least got this, which means we can increase our HP and begin the poison ticks. We'll attach for turn, and then I really want to thin out these guys. And I think grabbing a Petrunt here is smart. And then just dropping it in. So one play that you can also keep in mind when you are playing the poison package in this deck is if you know your Pokemon is subjugated to getting knocked out, you can prep your Petrunt on the bench. So when you promote it, they take the bonus damage of tick stuff in between turns, which is quite useful. So here they can't knock us out because it's only 160. And let's see what we get here. It is a Petrunt EX. So in this case, let's just do that for fun again. And I'll throw in the... I don't even think we play the Petrunt. I think we just make it look like it's a dead hand for now, which it kind of honestly is. It is a little bit of a dead hand. And there's the Judge. So there's the other argument to be made. I could have used Judge, and then I have one less chance of drawing the Petrunt. But Perilous Jungle is big because now we have game. All we need to do is attack with our Frenzy. Even Calamity Storm would knock him out, but we have Frenzy Gouging as well. So we have game just like that. Let's go Earthen Vessel. Grab the Dark Energies, and we can go knockout. And that's a game. I feel like we've won like 99.9% of our coin tosses for this video today. Ooh, Mamacita, that's a good looking hand right there for turn one. The secret box, oh my gosh, is this the donk? Are we gonna win on turn one? This honestly could be a turn one donk right here. Based off this opening hand alone, we might be able to summon Exodia the Forbidden One. Oh yeah, we did it. We won, guys. Just like that, we've won the game. Unless we prize both of our Petrunts. Now we're chilling. Okay. Earthen Vessel, just to double check that we have a capsule and yeah, okay, we win. We win. So that was a really fun game. I'm really glad I got to show you guys at least one donk this video, you know. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button down below, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I really hope you guys the best of luck for your games as well coming up. Whether you go to a challenge cup, let me know what decks you're playing in the comments.